Hey guys, today we're going to look at gaming with your kids. And the big question is, why should you game with your kids? I've been gaming with my two kids for years now. Well, they're currently 13 and almost 16. And I've gamed with the older of the two about 10 years now. And the younger about 5 or 6 years now. And we're actually creating our own tabletop RPG, which is a ton of fun, creating a game with my sons. But a lot of people, I know they don't really think in terms of, is this appropriate or is this really something I should be, should I be hanging out with my kids and spending time playing a tabletop role-playing game with them? Yeah, you should. And here are 10 reasons why, and a couple extra bonuses too. I have about 13 here, but number one reason is time spent with your kids. Obviously, the more time you spend with your kids, the better, is the way I look at it. The more time you spend with your family, the better, right? And quality time happens in a quantity of time. So I know for at least for a while now, I guess it was more, maybe a few years back, there were a lot of studies on what's more important, quantity time or quality time. And what a lot of researchers have found is the quantity time is the key. You have to spend a lot of time with your kids for the quality time to happen. You can't just tune in with your kids 5 minutes a day and expect to have a great relationship with them. It takes a lot of time. And kids, they realize the time you spend with them and they appreciate it. And they might not know how to verbalize that or show it when they're children, but I think when they get older, they look back and they can appreciate that. And hopefully they continue the tradition of spending a lot of time with their kids too. Quality time happens in the quantity of time. TTRPGs, tabletop role-playing games, take a lot of time. As we all know, if you play a tabletop role-playing game, you know it takes a ton of time. So you will spend a lot of time with your kids, which is great. So just playing the tabletop game takes a lot of time, but if you actually created a game with them, or maybe they help you do some crafting for the game, or maybe they're helping you with the story for the game. Maybe you're using D&D rules, but they're helping you with the storylines, or maybe they're helping you with the art. So there's lots of different ways you can spend a lot of time with your kids in creating the game or creating parts of the game, the story, what have you, and also playing the game. So if all you do is just play the game with them, that's a ton of time. So that's the biggest thing, I think. Number two, storytelling. Kids learn how to follow and help create, just kind of touched on that, and eventually tell a story. So they learn about stories, they learn about storylines, they learn about plot, they learn about all the key ingredients that make a great story. So that's pretty important. Number three, helps them to think analytically. This is pretty huge. And I'll kind of touch on some other stuff that goes along with that too here in a minute. Number four, helps them with reading, writing, and math. So there you go. Those are kind of linked a little bit. So you can imagine how this could help them with their grades. So especially the younger kids. So if you play D&D or something like D&D, or maybe basic D&D, or when I say D&D, I'm sorry, I'm typically thinking about advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Or if you play your own game that's based on dice rolls. In any TTRPG I play, I use dice. So it's always mathematical calculations that we use. So, you have defense, you have attack modifiers, and so forth and so on. So they'll be adding and subtracting right off the bat. So this is great for their math skills, especially if they're in elementary school, maybe even middle school. And of course there'll be multiplication too, critical hits and so forth. So it's really good helping them with that. And of course writing, if they help you write the story, or if they just write character background stories. And of course, reading. I mean, hopefully, maybe they have a player's handbook. I remember when the first time I got the Dungeon Master's Guide, I read the thing from cover to cover in just, I guess it was a couple of days. And I think it was, I don't even think I had a whole weekend. I think it was during the week. So like as soon as I got home from school, I was just right into it, because I love the concept of dice rolling, tabletop role-playing games. I just thought it was a lot of fun, and I spent a lot of time with my friends when I was a kid. And it's the same kind of thing with my kids. They love this stuff, and they just eat it up. And I think part of it is they know that their dad enjoys it, and it is, it's good geeky fun. Okay, and it's good, clean fun. It's great. The game that we played and we've created together is very family oriented. The wife likes it. All their friends want to come over and play. We had a game last night. It lasted about 4 hours. A couple of their friends were over. So it's good stuff. They stay. They're constantly wanting to do things for the game and within the game. So today they did some artwork for their characters. Okay, so art. And I think they're planning on writing up background, a little bit more on the background stories of the characters. So I'll talk all day about that stuff. But anyway, it's really good reading and writing math for the kids. Number 5, helps imagination and creativity. It can help them with visual and performing arts too. Acting, it's a role-playing game. So if they want to act out, and I have 2 boys, so they love the battles. They like, my hero, he slashes with his sword like this to try to hit the giant dragon or whatever. So they think in terms of action, and a lot of times they want to role play out the actions, and which is a lot of fun. And as long as you don't get to the younger one likes to get a little bit overboard sometimes, but it's just part of the fun. But they're learning about acting. And the young one too, he really enjoys doing voices for his characters, which I think is great. He has these great voices he just makes up for numerous characters, not just his characters, but some of the NPCs and so forth too. So voice acting, and so forth and so on. Number 6, teamwork. This is huge, especially if you have siblings, if you have brother and sister, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, whatever, more than one child. And of course, they have friends over too and stuff too. But I think it's more crucial to teach siblings to get along together and to learn how to work together in a strategic, especially, mindset. So if they can do that, they can do just about anything together. So teamwork, and if they can work together, they can probably work with just about anybody, because, it's not really fun all the time to think in terms of working with your brother or your sister, right? A lot of times there's a sibling rivalry and all that. So kids learn to cooperate and work with others, which is huge. Number 7, rules. They learn that even in games there are rules that must be followed. So this is pretty crucial. I know a lot of times we don't really want to focus too much on rules. Rules are boring, right? But especially to kids. But I think it's really important for them to learn that there should be structure. That chaos is not acceptable. Society does not. You don't step out in society and just do whatever you want to do. So there are laws, there are regulations, there's organization. There are rules. So it's really important for them to learn the rules and learn how to obey them and not try to skirt them. So number 8, you, the parent, adult, can teach moral lessons through the game. Stories can teach self-respect and respect for others, among other values. So respect is a really big deal, I think, especially in today's society. There's just lots of examples that I've seen where kids just really don't seem to really grasp the concept of respect, and you just kind of wonder, okay, well, do the parents spend any time with them or what? I don't know. But my kids, I like to think, I think they're getting a little bit from this game. I think they're starting to understand, just because somebody's different, or, maybe they're going along with a dwarf or an elf or a halfling or whatever, and they're different, but that's okay, So they learn to be accepting of differences and to be respectful of people, even if they have a slightly different perspective. So I think respect is huge, and that's just one of the things that you can teach, obviously. Tons of other values you can teach as well. Number 9, they can learn about civic duties and society, as well as some medieval, maybe, history. So the game we play is kind of, I guess, fictitious history. I forget the terminology, but it's got some history involved. And but we kind of modify some things so they know the difference. Okay, they know this really happened, but we're making up this part to go along with that. So and some of it has to do with medieval English, I guess, Old England kind of stuff. So they learn about societies, monarchies and all that sort of thing, and it's really good. They really get into it. They've even learned some about architecture of the time, such as castle structures and so forth. What was a keep? Where was the keep located? How were the walls constructed? Where were the walls in relation to the keep? And things of that nature. It's pretty interesting, and so they've learned some stuff about Western civilization, I guess, the history of, and the society structure during that time as well. And I think it's kind of helped them to kind of see not only where America, or a good portion of the world, is coming from, but also it has helped them see other cultures as well, and understand kind of where they're coming from today. And so it's pertinent, it's appropriate, it's good information, and it goes along with a lot of their history studies at school too. So it's really good stuff there. Number 10, helps kids learn and hone problem-solving skills. This might be the biggest one, and maybe it's because I'm a man. All men think in terms of, there's a problem, I'm going to solve it. Now, next, here's the problem, I'm going to solve it. Next, that's just the way we're geared. I don't know, maybe it's instilled in us at birth, or maybe we learn it, but I don't, probably learn. So, but my boys, they're the same way. They see an issue, and they're looking for a solution. Well, it's kind of important to think that way. If you're going to work together on a team, talked about before, in a business setting one day, your business more than likely will have issues, and if you can't solve those issues, your business will fail and you will be out of a job. So it's kind of important to think that way, and these games can help kids to think in terms of problem solving, and especially working together as a team to strategize and take on problems together as a team. So that's pretty crucial too. It helps kids gain confidence in themselves and their siblings and or friends, whoever they game with. It's going to help them to gain some confidence in themselves and in their gaming companions, their gaming buddies. Because they're going to be spending a lot of time with them, and so they're going to learn to work with them. I remember, and they're going to build lasting friendships too. And that's, sorry, stumbling all over. That's the next one. Helps establish long, lasting friendships. And I'm still friends with the kids, the guys that I gamed with when I was just a kid. I remember gaming when I was, oh goodness gracious, I don't even, 10, 9. And I still know these guys, and I'm a lot older than that. I'm not going to talk about how old I am. Okay, so so lasting friendships is really good stuff, because you spend a lot of time. You get to really know them. And this is, it's kind of works its way into the next thing too. Establish trusting relationships that can last a lifetime, and that can help kids to speak up, and adults too, when there are important issues in their lives. So, when you have someone you can trust, when you have a friend that you can rely on and you can speak to, and you've spent lots of time with them, you need someone to confide in sometimes. That's normal. It's called being human. And it's crucial, I think, for kids especially teenagers. That's where mine are now, in Teenageville. And I think it's crucial for them to feel at ease enough with someone to be able to really talk to them about the things that are really bothering them, maybe bullying at school. This has been a topic, and lots of topics in the teenage years. Dating, first jobs, intimidated about that kind of stuff. Thinking in terms of college, this stuff is intimidating. This stuff is scary stuff. One day, they're hanging out, playing video games and gaming, playing role-playing games and just hanging out, throwing football with friends. And the next day is like, get a job. So, kids are going through so much now, and, thanks to technology, which is good and bad. There so much is coming at them so fast. If we don't take time and spend some quality time within a lot of quantity time, sometimes things slip past us. It really shouldn't as parents. So, and a lot of times that's because we just aren't there for them for them to feel like they really can connect with us and really can talk to us. So that's unfortunate. And anyway, tabletop role-playing games, I think they can help you in that. I think when you sit down and you're having fun rolling dice with your kid and you're pretending like you're an innkeeper, you know, a big, stout, bearded innkeeper with a bad attitude, and they're pretending like they're an elf who just wants a room for the night, and it's fun. It's, you know, it lets down that guard, and they need to see that guard dropped, and they need to relate with you on a different level, and it allows them to have fun with you, which is crucial. And hours of fun, not just a little bit, not just, you know, playing tennis for an hour or whatever, and you're really communicating. And yes, it's a game, and yes, it's a fictitious world, but there are elements of truth within it, such as the moral stuff we were talking about earlier. So it's really good stuff. It allows your kids to eventually open up to you and feel like they have more of a relationship with you, and because that's really what happens. You have a better relationship, a healthier relationship, thanks to playing tabletop role-playing games, of all things. You know, who'd have thought, right? So anyway, good stuff if you ask me. So if you like, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.